1년 전 21살의 마흐사 아미니가 이란 도덕경찰의 손에 잔혹하게 살해당했습니다. 그녀의 죄목은 법으로 정해진 이슬람 복장 규정 위반이었습니다. 그녀의 죽음은 1979년 혁명 이래 유례없는 시위를 촉발시켰습니다. 1년 전 이란 정부는 중국의 안면인식 기술을 이용해 마흐사 아미니 사망 사건으로 촉발된 히잡 시위에 참여한 2만 2천 명을 체포하고 630명을 살해했습니다.
One of the things that we're already seeing in the lead up to the first anniversary of her murder is increased suppression.
미국 국제종교자유위원회는 새로운 보고서에서 이란 당국이 종교 소수자들에 대한 구금, 고문, 실종 등을 자행하며 끊임없이 박해를 일삼고 있다고 밝혔습니다.
Christians report that they're getting pressure from the government not to participate in protests, and if they do participate and they're arrested, they are sexually assaulted in prison.
이란의 도덕경찰은 지난해 9월 히잡 밖으로 머리카락이 조금 보였다는 이유로 21살의 마흐사 아미니를 잔인하게 살해했습니다. 이 사건에 대한 반응으로 1979년 이란 혁명 이후 가장 오래 지속된 시위가 전국적으로 일어났습니다. 이란의 정치활동가인 미트라 자스니는 아미니의 죽음이 이란 정부를 계속해서 괴롭히고 있다고 말했습니다.
Many around the world view the tragic death of Mahsa Amini as a symbol of women's resistance against the mandatory hijab. For Iranians, Mahsa Amini murder served as a rallying call, motivating them to unite against the oppressive regime and seek its end.
에브라힘 라이시 이란 대통령은 아미니의 죽음에 시위하는 이란인들에 대한 정부의 대처에 후회는 없다고 말했습니다.
It's not a surprise that he has no regret because Raisi is a psychopath and mass murderer. One of the stains on his record is that over a few weeks he killed thousands of political prisoners and then ordered cream puff to celebrate that.
이란 당국은 아미니 사망 1주기를 맞아 열린 시위에도 강경 대응했습니다.
Every day we get the news about people being arrested. And that shows that the regime is really afraid, is really scared, and is getting ready for a show of force with the people.
한편 이란 의회를 통과한 히잡과 순결법은 소위 정숙법을 위반하고 적발된 여성들에 대한 벌금을 인상하고 징역 5년에서 10년을 선고하도록 합니다. 자스니는 히잡 시위가 이란 여성들이 물러서지 않는다는 것을 보여준다고 말했습니다.
We want this regime change. We want to take back our country. So we never afraid from new rules that this is not new for us because it started since 40 years ago.
이란인들이 마흐사 아미니의 유산을 기리는 가운데 이슬람 정권은 또다시 국민들을 강경하게 탄압하고 있습니다. 이어서 이란의 현재 상황에 대해 인권단체 트랜스폼 이란의 라나 실크가 자세한 소식 전해드립니다. 먼저 이란 의회가 새롭게 통과시킨 히잡과 순결 법안에 대해 설명했습니다.
The bill is an incredibly strong stand against women, much stronger than has been before. They have increased all the consequences, prison terms, fines for the women and celebrities and businesses and any people of influence that might get behind any kind of protest or anti-government stance, including how women dress, they will also be punished. So altogether, the government is saying whether you do it or encourage other people to do it, the consequences for you are going to be grave.
지난해 마흐사 아미니가 살해된 이후 시위에 참여한 이란인들 가운데 600명이 넘는 사람들이 숨지고 2만 2천여 명이 체포됐습니다. 이에 대해 라나 실크는 정권 몰락이 임박했음을 시사한다고 밝혔습니다.
I think we are. The situation today is completely untenable. It can't continue like this. One way or another, something has to give. And the people are growing in their courage, in their blatant disregard for the rules. Even today, we hear of women walking the streets with no hijab. Right now, with this bill coming into play, with all the warnings that things will get even harder for them, they are still defiant. So I think the courage of the people will continue and their unity and their strength in numbers will continue and we will see a change.
이란인들은 정부의 억압이 전혀 새로운 일이 아니라고 입을 모읍니다.
I think the new rules will encourage them because what they have been fighting against something that's perhaps tamer, and now even something stronger is coming in. So their stand is going to be, hang on a minute, we wanted choice, we wanted freedom, and you are choking us. So I think that people will grow in their courage and in the intensity of their protest.
한편 정부의 엄중 탄압에도 이란 교회는 유례없는 성장을 보이며 번영하고 있습니다.
Well, the people of Iran are increasingly disgruntled with Islam and all that Islam apparently offers them, in Iran at least, and they are looking for an alternative. So the harder the government pushes, controls, limits, censors, the greater the people's hunger, the greater their curiosity, and they are looking for alternatives, and they're finding Jesus.
이란 교회는 그 어느 때보다 강한 믿음을 보이고 있습니다.
Stronger than ever before. The problem that we don't have in Iran is any kind of lukewarm religion. If you come to turn to Christ, you know full well what the consequences are. It's illegal, and it's written down in plain text in the law. The ultimate consequence is execution. So no one dapples for fun. If they're going to go for Jesus, they go wholeheartedly, and they do go wholeheartedly.
이란 크리스천들은 히잡 시위에도 적극 참여하는 등 예수 그리스도의 사랑을 보여주고 있습니다.
Yes, joining in protest, but also what I love to see is Christian love in action. So certainly for us as an organization, when we saw the number of injuries and the vast number being turned away from hospitals, doctors saying, oh, I see that's a gunshot wound, I don't want anything to do with it. Those people needed practical care. So we sent doctors and nurses to the streets to catch the wounded and care for them. There's a lot that can be done that shows the love of Jesus in hands and feet as well as words.
이란인들의 영적 변화는 나라를 떠난 사람들에게도 동일합니다.
I feel like there's a grace of God right now on the Persian-speaking people all over the world. There is an openness. I speak to pastors across Europe and the West that say to me right where they live in their towns and cities, there is an unprecedented hunger amongst the Iranian people. So clearly there's a whole people group here that are turning to Jesus, and that's happening in the diaspora as well as in the country. And the great thing is when they're in the diaspora, they're freer. So then they're able to engage in all sorts of media-based evangelism and advocacy for their people too.
끝으로 실크는 이란을 위해서 기도할 때 이란 내에서 일어나는 일들을 정확히 아는 것이 중요하다고 전했습니다.
I think the church needs to be informed. First and foremost, there's a lot that we hear in the press, in secular press, that is just a bleak picture of what's happening. And that's not the reality of what's happening in Iran. The people of Iran are looking for Jesus and they're finding him. So we must have hope, we must have faith, and we must partner with what the Holy Spirit is already doing in prayer and understand this is spiritual warfare more than any human warfare, and back the people of Iran. So find an organization that knows what's happening, sign up to a newsletter, get informed, and pray.
정부의 탄압에도 불구하고 이란인들은 계속해서 예수님을 찾고 발견하고 있습니다.